Marvel Rivals has a serious problem when discussing this video, so make sure you take a seat, relax, and get some popcorn or whatever because this is going to be, quite a bit of a long video, at least, I think so. So, what do I want to discuss in this video? Basically, I want to discuss the crybabies and the toxicity in this game, and I don't know where it's came from, right? So if you guys aren't aware, when this game came out, Overwatch lost around 40% of its player base because, they came to here. And honestly, I've never had an issue with Overwatch player base. They weren't, when I was playing the game, no one was really toxic. Yeah, of course I'd get a few people that were toxic, but that's kind of normal in any shooter, any game, right? If you guys played COD back in the day, you guys would understand. But something really weird I found odd about this game is that every time I get into a match and we start losing even just a little bit, there's someone that always has to complain or moan and just blame somebody else immediately, just immediately for no good reason. Like, I understand saying, hey, can you switch to here? Can you switch to there, right? Or getting mad a few, like, here and there, right? But these people who are just constantly getting pissed out of the game, right? They get mad, like, over and over and over and over and over. Like, I understand having a bad game. I've had bad games too, right? Where, I get mad, but I try not to go on the mic because I'm not a little toxic asshole. So I try to, go sit, relax, chill out for a little bit. And then before I get on the mic again. And if I do say I get on the mic, I have said the word hour and stuff, right? But I try not to be a toxic person, right? I sometimes do lose my shit in this game, but like, it's not like I start screaming like what I'm about to show you. So in this game, for some reason, there's a lot of people who are just straight toxic. Like, some people will legitimately give up within like the first 2 minutes of the game just because you didn't swap to somebody, or they don't like, the character, or they don't even like the way you sound, or they don't, you don't use the team up or whatever the case is. And I just kind of find it just incredible, right, that this game particularly, right, because I played a few toxic games back in my time, right, but this has to be one of the most toxic games I have ever played, because I'm not even joking, every stream that I play there and I have comps on, someone is unbelievably toxic, racist, or just straight homophobic to other people. Like, if you watch the stream, right, people will argue nonstop, and I try not to be one of those people, right? I've gotten mad before, right, but everyone's gotten mad, we've probably said horrible stuff that we shouldn't say, right? I know I have, right? But I don't get mad back to back games, and if I do, right, I turn my mic off because I'm not about to spread my toxic behavior and get other people upset and other people mad, right? And you shouldn't either. But the problem with this game that I've noticed is that every time I hop into a match and we're just losing by a little bit, it is unbelievably rare that I get in a match, right, where if we're losing, someone isn't talking about another person, right? Because it tends to be that if we're losing, it's one person to blame for. It's completely one person's fault. And like, I get it, it's a sweaty game, right? I get it, but like, being completely like an asshole to somebody, right, just because they don't swap out, like, okay, this is my thing. If you're in super high elo, I understand getting pissed. I do, like, extremely pissed, not really extremely pissed, but getting mad, but getting like extremely frustrated or mad, I get it. If you're in like the top 10%, or if you're in GM like me, I get getting frustrated, right? But I remember when I first started playing this game and I was bronze and I was stuck in silver for the longest time, I believe like 2 or 3 months, and I was trying new characters out and I didn't really know what to go, right, but every time I tell someone to swap out, I try not, because like, I'm caring and I love those people, right, honestly. But I remember my first few streams, I was in silver and I was playing Iron Fist and I didn't know really how to play him. I should have honestly tried him in quick play match, but hey, I'm in silver. This is what I'm thinking. I feel like if you're in low elo, which is plat 1 and under, I feel like it's okay to do that just because you don't really have much on the line. Yeah, there are people who are trying to grind and, get better and better and better, but I wasn't going negative. I believe I was just going straight, like 999, right? And someone would call, like, I started getting berated by my teammates, getting called shit and called dog, right? And me personally, it didn't affect me, but it just kind of made me sad. Not the fact they called me that, just the fact that you kind of, it's how do you lose your anger and control, right, over that one little thing? Yeah, obviously, if it keeps happening, you're gonna get pissed. But what do I tell everybody that gets pissed at this game? Take a break. Honestly, if you lose more than 4 or 3 matches, take a break in this game, any game, because you're not having fun. This is what I tell everybody, like, because I've gotten told, right? I've gotten told horrible things, right? Even off stream. Like sometimes I'll be on my mic, like, "Hey, what's up? How's everyone doing?" Right? And I'm not even joking. I'm like, sometimes I'm doing good, right? And there's like no problem, right? And there'll just be some, so right, that you calls me a, or just like calls me like something just absolutely, horrendous, right? And I personally don't care, right? I don't care, but there. Okay, remember this: when you're playing any game or even this game, right? You do have to remember that at the end of the day, there's a human being over there. And yeah, you might lose your shit. I've lost my shit. And I'm sorry that I've lost my shit, right? But I've never lost my shit to the point that I start calling someone racial slurs, right? Or I start calling them a. Because in this game, I've seen, even off stream especially, right? I've seen people who hop on the mic and they're just so unbelievably like mean, and they just act like degenerates towards people who sound different than them, right? Or if they have an accent. Obviously, I'm not in the, I have made fun of people on this game before, but for being like goofy, and I try to, make my jokes. You can tell that I'm joking, right? Because sometimes I hop in the game, I'm like, "Oh, you sound cute." Right? I'll say that, or be like, "Damn, you suck. Damn, you suck." They're like, "Are you talking to me?" "Oh no, I'm talking to the store." Right? Wait, aren't you Thor? Oh no. Like stuff. Like I try to make my jokes kind of like, oh, kind of obvious, right? But some people genuinely don't know how to joke in this game, right? For some reason they don't. And this is a serious, serious issue with this game. I am head and heels in love with this game. Okay, don't get me wrong. I absolutely think this is one of the most fun games I've ever played, ever, ever, ever. That, including Overwatch, including Paladins, Dead by Daylight, right? I don't freaking know other games, right? But this is honestly, I can tell you genuinely, this is one of the most fun games, and it's currently my favorite game to play, right now. But the community just really ruins it because, like, people just give up, start throwing, right? Start getting on the mic, calling people, right, and apparently, I don't know if this is true, right, but I've read a few YouTube comments from different YouTubers where apparently when women talk in this game, right, they start being extremely rude to women. And I actually read more comments on Reddit and stuff saying that women, right, especially women, they don't like talking in this game because they're gonna get mistreated. And I'm just like, dude, that's horrible, that's horrible. I honestly was really surprised that would call a lot of girls play this game, not because or anything, just because like I've played so many shooters, right? Like Overwatch, some Call of Duty games here and there, right? And when people get on the mics, I've rarely encountered any girls, right? But in this game, there's a lot of girls, and I kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's a new thing, right? I'm like, oh wow, Yeah, I think it's really cool. You know what I mean, right? I really think it's cool that girls are getting into the game reaction because I've never seen that before, right? But yeah, I really like that, and I don't like the fact that these guys, right, or maybe even girls are doing this as well, just like shut these people up, like just because they're female, right? I don't like that. I really don't. Just because like I don't do that. But I just think it's really shameful that a lot of the community just acts like in such a degenerate way. So if you are going to play this game, or you're interested in playing this game at all, even the slightest, do not, I mean, don't turn on comps. If you're gonna play this game, turn them off, right? Because I've been threatening to get doxxed, right? Police call on me and everything in this game. Everything that you can imagine has happened to this game within the few short months I've been playing it. Like, please, if you're gonna play this game, make sure you mute everybody. You can leave chat on and text chat on, but as soon as you start feeling pissed or angry, right, please control yourself in this. We should literally not be having a community topic about this. We shouldn't, but this is such a freaking, like, people freak out over no reason. Yeah, I get it. You're losing the game. I get it. But maybe one tricking Psylocke isn't freaking helping your case, Because I've seen so many people, right? Oh, guys, I'm just gonna, like, no. This game is meant to be switched out. You're meant to play different roles, right? And some people will just lose it just because you don't have a point tank. You don't need a point tank with every single comp. So you're telling me, let's say you have Mantis, Luna Snow, Venom, another dive tank like Thor, right? And your comp is mainly dive. You have a Spider-Man too, right? Do you really think that you need a point tank? No, you don't, because it all revives around your comp, right? And I see a lot of people complaining and moaning, because earlier today I had someone tell me that, hey, I am healing, I am, because I said, hey man, can someone swap out a healer because we're just not getting enough heals, because I was about to hit diamond again, right? Something I'll get talked to this about. I'll add something else in mind, but excuse me, because I'm about to reach diamond 2 again, right? Because I was at diamond 3 for a little bit. And he's like, oh no, what do you mean I'm doing good? What do you mean I'm healing, right? I have like this many heals. Dude, it doesn't matter how many healing you have. Like, you can point on your screen, right, and say 44 kills, right, 10 deaths, right, 90 million healing. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, guess what? You still lost, and you're still stuck in the same elo because you refuse to switch out. You do. You refuse to switch out. You refuse to learn from your mistakes. I have this one guy, right, that sometimes I play with, and he's like, oh, I don't know why I can't rank up. I love him, everything, right? But the reason he can't rank up is because he mains one character, which is either C and D or Psylocke, and he never switches out besides though. Like, dude, switch your character if you're getting while you can one trick, right? There's only a few characters you're able to one trick without getting heavily countered, and one of them is Doctor Strange, Magneto, and Captain America. I would say those 3 tanks, right? If you play them good enough, you have 0 counters, right? But sometimes I'll swap out just because I can't deal with Namor. I can't deal with this. You need to swap out. You cannot in this game. I repeat, the majority of you guys cannot one trick. I'm sorry, you guys can't. And for the people who say that, oh, I should be in higher rank, but my team sucks. No, you shouldn't. You are properly ranked. This game is actually giving you more of the benefit of the doubt than any other game you've played, because the split is 49-51. It's not 51-49. If you guys don't know what that means, basically what that means is you can lose and still rank up. And a lot of people I've heard a lot of people in my chat say, oh, my team just sucks, they're bad, that's why I can't rank up. Have you ever heard a professional player in any game, in any history rate, say that, oh, I'm actually really good, but the reason I'm famous or anything and I'm still sucking silvers because my team sucks? Have you ever heard them that? Be very realistic with me. Have you? No. You know why? Because they're actually good. If you want to rank up in this game, right, and start getting Coco's teammates, you're the teammate, you're the problem. The reason you keep losing and can't rank up is because you suck. And that's it. You're shit at the game. You are actually dog shit, right? But the people who are willing to learn from their mistakes, right? They're the ones who are ranking up. Maybe they were bronze and stuck there for a while, for like, I don't know, a few months. You're making progress, you're ranking up. Not everyone learns at the same skill level. And some people have told me, oh, I belong in diamond, I belong in celestial, and they're like silver, like gold, or like plat, right? No, you don't. Yes, you don't put the work in. Obviously, right? Let's be realistic now. If you want to get to a high rank, you need to play the game. It's as simple as that, right? And you need to stop blaming other people for your mistakes. Yes, are you going to get teammates? Of course you are. That's like in any other game, right? But if you honestly want to start getting quote-unquote better teammates, it is a you problem. You're shit. Okay? The reason I was stuck in silver for like 3 months is because I was, okay? I thought people sucked. No, I'm bad. And very quickly, I realized that that's why I was stuck at this rank. You need to honestly cut the attitude, cut the bullshit, right? And stop blaming other people and stop insulting other people, right? Because you can't do what you need to do. But the thing I was talking about is this. So I was in a match earlier, right? And we had the C and D, and I was telling them to swap out. They didn't want to swap out. They kept playing C and D, right? They kept playing C and D, right? And I said, hey, someone else swap out. Someone else play tank. I know how to play every single role, right? Because it's true. The only people I don't know how to play are Widow, like Panther, and Spider-Man. Everyone else I'm halfway decent or really good at, right? Because I play the game. I stream the game, right? I've hit GM before. I stream the game pretty much every single day, right? The majority of people are not going to be as good as me. Do you know why? Because I stream the game. I practice the game. I'm actually in love with the game, and I play the game on stream. That's why, okay? But I told him, I said, hey, let's switch out, man. He said, oh, you don't know anything. I'm like, dude, I didn't want to flex him or anything, but he's a me, so I just didn't respond. I didn't say anything, right? But we all switched out except for him, right? And the match was painfully, it was painful so much. But as soon as we switched out, guess what? We started winning, because I told everyone what role to go, what tank to go, what damage to roll, right? And it's not me being an arrogant or anything. It's just because I'm better than you. That's the matter of the fact. If someone is a higher rank than you in elo, right, and you don't want to listen to them, that's fine. But also, don't pretend like you know more than them because you've never hit that rank. You haven't. Am I the master of knowing everything? No, I'm not. I don't know every single fucking thing in this game. But what I can tell you, right, is if you listen me right in this particular game, we were gonna win because I've been in the same scenario before and I know what counters what. I don't know what counters everything. I'm not like a magician. I'm not perfect, right? But what I can tell you this is I have a lot of experience in this game and I usually know what counters what. And as soon as we switched, guess what? We won. We steamrolled them and we were getting steamrolled before. And the guy kept talking shit, and I straight up told him, hey man, you see, isn't it kind of funny how everyone listened to me, right? And I still have higher healings than you? Because I've had higher healings than him. Even for the first round, he was completely healing, right? And by the end of the round, I had higher healing than him. And when I told everyone to switch to what tank, we won. Because I know what counters what. But you're so ignorant, you're so stuck in your way, right? That you're going to be stuck in C and D with your 7 and 14 and still scream and still bitch and still moan and call people freaking slurs and n-words or whatever, right? Just because you're the problem and you can't see that you're the issue. There is no pro, like I've said, there's never been a pro, right, who said, oh yeah guys, the reason I'm not a pro is because my team. There is no pro. Have you ever seen that? Do you think Messi did that? Really? Come on, be realistic with me. Come on, be realistic with me. No, that's stupid to say. Yeah, what do you guys think about this issue that's going on Marvel Rivals? It's probably won't go away anytime soon because you know how people are, right? But honestly, if you can say anything out of this video, anything at all, right? Yes, we've got to be angry. Yes, I've called people really bad names. Have I ever called them anything super, super bad? No, the worst I've called anyone is okay, that's it. All right, but I'll admit to my mistakes, but I'm not out here constantly getting mad, angry, right? If you have one thing to take out of this video is this: please treat other people how you want to be treated, okay? Please be. And when someone says hello or hi, right, don't tell them to shut up, don't tell them to be quiet, because they're just being nice. They're just trying to brighten your day up. No one has to ask you on how your day was. No one. Why should they care? But if someone goes on the mic trying to make you laugh, right, or trying to say hi, check, well, how are you doing, right? Why say shut up to them? Like literally, why? They're just trying to be nice to you. Maybe you're having a shit day, maybe you're having a crappy day, right? But there's no need for you to be an asshole to someone who's just trying to be nice and just trying to make you laugh. Why? Why be an asshole to them? God literally brought them to this game, right, to say hi. Because no one has probably said hi to you in a while. And instead of saying hi back, right, you're going to let your anger, right, from your last games determine your outcome for this game. Really? This person, they don't need to say anything to you. They can go on the mic every single, imagine this. Imagine every game you play, everyone's just absolute, right? Because it does happen a lot with this game, but not all the time. Honestly, take a break from the game, go away for a little bit, and come back with a fresh mind. It's okay to get mad times. It's okay to even say horrible. I've said horrible shit. But there's no excuse to keep it going, back for back. Well, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you guys have any comments, right, go ahead and type them. I do reply to, no, I don't reply to comments, but I do view them, right? And I do like them, all of them, even the negative ones. You know what I'm saying? I love the negative ones as well. But yeah, I'm kidding. Take care, much love, and I'll see you guys later.